Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, did not expect this episode to be the episode that I've been wishing for this series for quite some time. You know, like an episode where they show a whole bunch of stuff popping off, and then after it's all said and done, it still has a chance to show up in the next episode. It actually has some plot can not convenience, but actually have some reasoning of being there. So, without further ado, let's talk about Zero's past and why she made a huge mistake going out for lunch to eat with all of her friends, or I guess breakfast or brunch-ish time. So, what? You guys saw how far I was in that miss. That's how trash this character's special is, buddy. That is doo-doo. That's booty butt cheeks. But with this episode, we learn exactly why Zero and our main character meet. Um, Pretty much the weirdest thing that happened out of all this episode was kind of the little explanation or the little bit of what we got of the uh, the angler, the guy who taught our main character everything he knows. We saw this side, like this white fluctuating looking power, which also reminded me a lot of the book he summons and like was crushing monsters and flattening them with them, but not really killing them. So to think that this has become like how he interprets, the last moments of seeing him, and then he gets the photo of Zero to go and protect her, it gave me the feeling of like there's so much more that they could have maybe explained with this guy, but yet we're just getting a picture from him, and he also just tells our main character that we probably won't ever see him again. Which, like, instead of him, like, going out and battling and losing his life or something, it's just more of a situation of, oh man, he literally, just kind of disappeared. He literally can't tell us where he is because this man, like, just straight up left. Like, he's just gone. So, I'm not really sure what to say about that other than that. After we got the picture and after we, heard what he had to say about Zero and protecting her at all costs, that was it. Like he left out to the normal human world, like he said our main character was ready for, and boom, bam, this man, meets Zero and starts living his life as he was. But to think that he goes back like every day on, this, he goes back every year or so to take care of the place he used to live at with his master, and I think that really, I think that was really cool. I mean, sure, it was very convenient that that's why he was away from Zero, and that was the perfect time for this guy to show up. And if he showed up while he was there, none of this would probably happen. But with all that, it's still really cool to see that whoever kind of gets in his way usually was just getting, mopped. Like it wasn't really a competition for him to, have to handle that stuff. And then once he did handle it, uh, he winds up, straight up going as ham as possible and bodying everything that kind of gets in his way. But now with this week's episode, it's kind of hard to put into words, like where and why, um, where the guy is and why is he going to such lengths to literally suicide bomb people uh, who's working for him. He's literally sending out these bombs to every character that Zero was hanging out with at brunch or whatever. It was like breakfast, lunch. And they all supposedly just got bodied. Like everybody is dead that we've met, from Zero's perspective. Even our own master got died, and because the explosion was literally inside the house. So it's these types of things that really, really get my bones shaking and stuff, because this is what I want to see, you know? Like, I want to see people going in and not only him winning, but I want to see a villain who can get the upper hand and get to a position where he can either win or push our main character to a new point of using power we haven't seen, or even techniques in the case of like stealth and all these other stuff, because he literally, the way he saved Zero is somehow got inside of a test, like a experiment area, and then got to lay on a monster's or like a animal's head from the other country or the other continent, and no one noticed until he woke up, you know. So he's a ninja. He is a ninja, and to think that we just watched him have a guy with a bomb on his head completely self-destruct. I'm pretty sure he might been able to make some kind of construct to protect himself. But man, it's been a while since I was really hoping anymore that this show had something I could really digest and like see potential in, and it's finally come. Like, this is the episode where I can finally see some potential in them actually showing and telling us a decent in-game story. And this is what I've been talking about for like a lot of animes. A lot of animes don't even have this type of like they don't even have this type of plan of finishing a series off this way sometimes. Like sometimes they'll just end it with, you know, something even more lighthearted or something, you know. So to think that all of the stuff we watched up to now is leading into this, I'm pretty happy about it, but at the same time, I wish it happened a little bit earlier, and then they could have took their time, just relaxing, chillaxing, um, and then, you know, we get to know them a little bit better after we see them go through like a hellish situation. But it all makes sense now. Like, I actually kind of like the characters that they were hanging out with. Like, I mean, let's be fair, you know, like they're not that bad of people, and clearly they'll help Zero a lot more than they'll help the other guy, because that guy will just leave them if he doesn't like the situation that he's being put in. He's just be like, you know what, I got places to be, people to fight, and you guys are lame. Zero's like, oh well, you guys came all this way for me. I feel like I need to do something for you now. Like, she's a sweetheart, so it makes sense that they would all show up at brunch at a drop of a dime when she hits them up. Um, but to think that her hanging out with all of them literally put them all in more danger for the old man to see, if he hasn't already, you know, caught on to that group of people. How did I not get a perfect? I mean, an S. That's so dumb. Um, but yeah, I'm really hopeful for the future of this show in the sense of next week's episode, and if next week's episode goes as well as this episode went. I mean, I was ready for something to pop off the whole time once this old man was even introduced and they told us like why he is the way he is and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was awesome. I got another video I'm gonna record very soon here, so I definitely am going to end it right here. Um, I mean, the only thing I gotta say is the next week's episode should be dope. Should be like a hunt down for Zero and absolutely destroy this old man. Take him to the continent and let some non-meat eater eat him. I don't know. I just, this guy is so trash. He put another shock collar on Zero to just control her now, and it's gonna be a long episode. So I can feel it. Like, I can already tell by the way they kind of went about doing this episode. They took a long time for this guy, our main character, to get back. And because of that, I feel like they could do the same thing with how long it takes him to get there. And then once he gets there, he could end the situation quick in a hurry. So I don't know how it's going to all play out, but that's the fun part of it all, in my opinion. I get to see that and get to guess with you guys. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are actually watching this show, so it's also like I'm the only one who's kind of giving this show really any support, in the sense of I'm not just going to trash it because everybody wants me to. I'd rather actually be honest about the episode this week was pretty decent, and let you know how I feel about it instead of just saying what people everywhere are gonna say about it, just so they can, fit in or whatever, sighing about it. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have an awesome one. I will definitely talk to you guys very soon here because I got Deal to drop, so I can't wait to talk about that. That episode's fire too. So, with all that being said, I will talk to you really soon. So with that, peace. Can you just take the hit? How did he dodge that? You can't be that close without taking a blast damage. He literally was sidestepping. What do you mean? Alright, Vegeta. You catching this. Oh, nope, he's blocking it, of course. Oh, nope, you trash.